there and welcome. You're about to watch a Lakehead International live webinar. It is a great way to explore what Lakehead University is all about. In this session, you'll hear insights and stories from Lakehead professors, staff, and current students. While watching, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. For now, let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another Lakehead Live session. My name is Hardika Narankar, and I'll be your host today. So today's focus is all about your next steps in the admissions process, and we will walk you through how to complete and track your application and how to officially accept your offer to Lakehead. So here's what we will be covering in this webinar today. We will be understanding your application status, key next steps in the admission process, including PAL, paying your fees, course registration, and also connecting with your fellow Lakehead students, and also finally wrapping up with the live Q&A where we will answer your questions directly. All right. So with that, let's just discuss and start by looking at where you might be in the application process. So every applicant falls into a specific status, and for undergraduates, there are 6 possible stages that you'll see listed on the left side of the screen. Now we'll go one by one for each. So starting with the incomplete status. So in this, your application is missing something and it hasn't been finalized yet. So you'll need to provide the required details. Talking about pending, your file is complete, but no decision has been made yet. Admitted conditionally, which is ADC. In this status, you have received an offer, but we are waiting on final items like transcripts, proof of course completion, or an English language test score. And conditions can vary. So if you're unsure about yours, please reach out to the international admissions team and they'll help you out ahead. Now, if it shows admitted, then congratulations, you have been accepted with no conditions, and that's an unconditional offer. Now, eligible to register status means that you have been admitted and can go ahead and you can sign up for your courses. And if you are starting this fall, you should wait until they provide you certain access. All right. If it's refused, unfortunately, this means that you didn't meet the requirements for that particular program. And in many cases, you may be considered for an alternative option. If not, then you can always connect with our recruitment advisors to discuss how you might strengthen your application for the future. Now, for graduate applications, it follows a slightly different path with more checkpoints. So in application stage, your file has been submitted. Additional information means that admissions needs extra details before moving forward. Talking about initial review, the Faculty of Graduate Studies is confirming that you meet the general admissions requirement. If it shows department review, that means that once you have cleared the general requirements, your file is forwarded to Academic Programs Admissions Committee for consideration. And this part can take a lot of time depending on the department. So from here on, the decisions are being made. Now, one of the decisions could be admitted, which means that you receive an official letter of acceptance, which is posted in your application portal. And refused by committee, which is RCO. This means that the program itself has decided not to offer you a place. This does not always mean that you are unqualified. It may just simply mean that the intake was very competitive. And finally, refused by graduate studies, REF, which means that you did not meet the overall admissions requirements and may need to upgrade your qualifications before applying again. All right, I hope that was very clear for everyone. And now for those of you who is holding an acceptance letter from Lakehead right now, congratulations. That is a really huge step and something to be proud of. So with that, let's just discuss more next steps about what to do once you get your LOA. So once you're admitted, that's where the real journey begins. And there are a number of steps you'll need to follow, and we'll walk you through each of them in the next few slides. Now, the very first thing is to look for your acknowledgement email, and this email provides your Lakehead student ID number, your username and password for the portal, your Lakehead email account information. And if you do not see this in your inbox, always check your spam folder if it's there. Add us to your safe senders list so you do not miss any kind of important updates going forward. All right, next steps. Now, in this, your Lakehead ID, username, and password are very vital. You'll need them for almost everything that you do, so make sure you store them somewhere safe and easy to access, whether that's on your phone or in a notebook or somewhere saved securely on a computer. Now, for undergrad applicants who applied through OUAC, remember that you will also have separate login details for that system. So you'll need that for things like updating or making changes to your application. All right. While we do continue using your personal email, your Lakehead email account becomes the main way we'll send you updates. Think of it as your official communication channel with the university. And you'll receive details about your application as well as any updates on scholarships, residence, orientation, and more. So you'll use the same login details from your acknowledgement email to access this inbox. The student information portal is another tool you will want to get comfortable with. And through this portal, you can check your application status, you can check you can review any kind of required documents, apply for residence or bursaries, and also register for courses once they are eligible. Now, on the screen here, you will see a sample view of the portal. When you log into the student portal, you'll see different tools that will help you manage your journey at Lakehead a bit better, depending on your status. So you may see options like student finances, tax slips, course registration and planning, timetable, exam schedule, grades, and transcripts. All right. Now, this is the number one question that we get after someone applies, which is, when will I hear back? Now, for undergraduate applicants, decisions usually come within 4 to 6 weeks, though it can take a bit longer during busy periods. So you can log into your portal at any time to check your application status. And for graduate applicants, there isn't a guaranteed timeline since each department works at their own pace. You will still be able to monitor your progress through your graduate application portal. Now, on this screen, you'll see two examples. One is about the application at the initial review stage, and another department review. These statuses let you know exactly where your file stands in the process. And now that the next steps, are done, so I will just see if there are any more questions before I begin. All right. So let's talk about the next steps, which is submitting your outstanding documents. So for our undergraduate applicants, there might be still be a few outstanding documents that we're waiting on before we can issue you your unconditional letter of acceptance. And I know everyone is super excited to receive that LOA, and that's completely understandable. But in many cases, there are just a few final steps left on your end. So let's just quickly go through the most common ones. First is your official transcripts. So this is probably the most common reason why an LOA is still pending. Second is the language proficiency requirement, but this only applies if it's required in your case. So some of you may already have met this requirement through other accepted methods. Third is the course descriptions. So this is especially for students who are transferring from a college or from a university and are looking for transfer credits. And finally, in some cases, there are non-academic requirements like a portfolio for programs like media, film, or communications, or an audition if you're applying for the music program. Now, if you're wondering how to submit these documents, you can email them for conditional assessment. But just keep in mind, for anything to be considered official, there are specific criteria that you need to follow. All right. Now, next steps, how to submit your outstanding documents again for graduate applicants. So things work a bit differently for graduate applicants. In most cases, you are actually required to upload all your supporting documents before you even submit your application. And the most important thing to remember here is that the requirements can vary a lot depending on the program. So once you start your application, you will see a customized list of documents as shown in the screenshot on your screen, a customized list of documents in your portal. If anything feels unclear, do not guess. Just reach out to the graduate admissions team or an international recruitment advisor, and they are there to help you. Now let's talk a bit more about official transcripts, because this is something that often causes very much confusion. So an official transcript is not something that you upload yourself. Typically, it needs to be sent directly by your institution to the university. And in some cases, we also accept electronic copies, but only if they're sent directly from an official institutional email address that can be verified. Here is the email IDs for undergraduate, it's docs.admission@lakeheadu.ca, and for graduate, it's gstudent@lakeheadu.ca. So these are the email IDs that you can send your official transcripts to. I mean, your institution can send it. All right. Now, talking about next steps, which is about reviewing your LOA. This is something that's very exciting for a lot of people. So getting your LOA is a big moment, and you should obviously absolutely celebrate it. But before you move forward too quickly, let's take a quick few minutes to carefully review everything. So you need to start with your personal details. Is your name spelled correctly? Does it match your passport? Is your date of birth correct? Is your address accurate? Even small errors here can cause issues later on, especially when you apply for your study permit. So please make sure that everything is accurate and everything is spelled correctly. Next, look at your program information. Now make sure that the program listed is the one you actually applied for. The start term is correct, the campus location is correct. Sometimes students receive alternative offers, so it's important to double check that everything aligns with your plans. Also, you'll see an estimated tuition amount. Just remember, this is an estimate and not the final figure. Next would be talking about your admissions condition. This is a very important section. So take your time to read through this carefully. You should clearly understand what conditions you need to meet, how you're going to meet them, and the deadlines involved. And if anything is unclear or if you need more time, do not hesitate to reach out. The admissions team can guide you. Also, don't forget to check your offer expiry date. That's how long your seat is being held for you. All right. In this section, you will find clear instructions on how to accept your letter of acceptance, along with the deadline to complete this step. Make sure you review it very carefully so you do not miss any important updates. You should also take note of your confirmation deposit amount and pay close attention to the amount, the available payment methods, and the deadlines to submit it. So completing this step on time is essential because it secures your seat in the program and keeps your admission moving forward. Now, let's walk you through the steps to accept your offer. For undergraduate students, the process is pretty simple, but it is also important to complete each step carefully. Start by logging into your online application portal. Once inside, click on Choices/Offers to view your admission offers. Next, select either offer or alternate offer, depending on what appears on your portal. Click Accept to move forward. Then select I'm ready to submit my responses or changes. From there, just follow the prompts through the review and submit process. Take a moment to double check your responses before finalizing. And after you have successfully submitted, you will receive a confirmation number by email along with a summary of your responses and any updates made to your application. Keep this email in a safe place, and it serves as your official record in case you ever need to reference your acceptance. Now, for graduate students, it is pretty simple. You will see an actions required section in your portal. Simply click View and select Accept, and then follow the instructions provided ahead. All right. Now let's talk about how to get a PAL for undergraduate programs. This is only for undergraduate students and not for graduate or master's students. So after accepting your offer, the PAL process begins. Step 1 is to accept your offer, then complete the PAL request form. Once approved, pay the PAL confirmation deposit. Then you need to receive your PAL and then apply for study permit. It is pretty simple. If anything else, you can anytime go to our webpage for PAL, and then our team can help you. You can also email us at welcome@lakehead.uca, and then they will be able to help you there. Okay. One thing I also wanted to highlight that as of January 1st, 2026, international graduate students are no longer required to obtain a provincial attestation letter or PAL while applying for their Canadian study permit. All right. Now let's just talk about paying your fees. There are several payment options available, giving you the flexibility to choose what works best for your situation. I'll highlight the most popular method shortly, but first, here are a few additional options to be aware of. Online banking is available for students who's using Canadian bank account, and if you have a family member or sponsor in Canada, they can make the payment on your behalf using this method. Money orders and bank drafts are typically used by students who are already in Canada, so this may be more relevant later in your academic journey. You may also have funding applied directly to your student account through scholarships, bursaries, awards, or graduate funding. These amounts are automatically deducted from your balance, helping reduce your overall fees as well. Now, for graduate students, assistantships work the same way. The funding is applied to your account and lowers the amount that you owe. So if your education is being funded by a sponsor, such as government body, employer, or third-party agencies, you can connect with the international account officer for guidance on how the process works. So hope that was clear. And now let's just focus on the most commonly used payment methods. I will put this URL which is present on the screen in the chat so that everyone can just benefit from that. Right. Yes. I've sent you the URL in the chat so that you can just go through it in case you want to understand more in depth about how to pay. All right. Let's talk about the most commonly preferred pathways for payment. The preferred option is electronic transfer through Convera. It allows you to pay in your local currency and is secure, reliable, and authorized by the university. Many students choose this option because it is both cost-effective and efficient. Another popular method is Pay My Tuition, which supports multiple payment types, including credit cards through TouchNet PayPath. You can also pay using Visa or MasterCard by making it more convenient choice for many families. If you ever feel unsure about which option to use, support is always available. So our international accounts officer is always happy to guide you and ensure that your payment process is smooth and stress-free. All right. So finally, let's just talk about course registration, which is the most anticipated step because this is where you choose your classes. So course registration may not be opened immediately after admission, and that is completely normal. Yours may open if you're applying for the fall intake, it may open in June. So stay updated for that. Undergraduate students start by reviewing the academic calendar. It outlines your required courses and program structure. Many students use the pre-registration builder, typically available in early summer or fall entry. And once registration opens, you will be ready to secure your schedule quickly. For graduate students, again, begin with the academic calendar, then watch for instructions from your graduate coordinator, and they will email you through your university account with detailed registration guidance. The academic calendar is also a powerful resource. It includes regulations, program requirements, and course descriptions. It may also seem overwhelming at first, but once you get comfortable with it, it becomes one of your best planning tools. I will just share the link over here. If anyone wants to just view the catalog. All right. So with that, we are at the end of today's session, and I will just open up the floor for any questions that may come from you. I can see a question. Can I apply for scholarships with my conditional admission? And I'm hoping to receive partial scholarship in order to help me effectively complete the process in Canada's immigration admissions. Yes, you can still be considered for scholarships even after receiving a conditional admission from Lakehead University. Here's how it works. So basically, you will be automatically applied for any kind of scholarship, especially for undergraduate. It is automatically assessed with the application that you provide. If you're applying for a graduate program, then some graduate scholarships and graduate assistantships can still be applied after admission. You just need to meet the conditions in your offer letter first to confirm eligibility. So probably your next step would, I would also like to highlight that scholarships are competitive and usually partial, and they are not guaranteed, but receiving conditional admission does not prevent you from being considered. All right. There is a question from Poonam. Could you please let me know how long it usually takes to receive an unconditional offer letter after successfully completing all the conditions stated in the offer letter? So after you submit all your required documents and meet the conditions in your offer letter from Lakehead University, it usually takes up to 1 to 3 weeks for the university to review the updates and issue an unconditional final offer letter, but it also depends on how busy the period is. So timing can vary depending on how quickly your documents are verified, the volume of applications that are being processed by the admissions team, and whether official transcripts or test scores need any kind of confirmation. So if your documents were just recently submitted, the best next step would be to just continue keeping an eye on your My Info portal and your email regularly for any kind of updates. And if it has been more than few weeks, I would reach out to the graduate admissions team for a status update. I hope that helps, Poonam. All right, there is another question from Abdullah. Please, I have gotten my admission letter already, and I have done by tuition deposit too, which is 2,000 Canadian dollars, and I am waiting for my unconditional offer letter. Instead of sending me that letter, they send me admission letter again by tilting it acceptance letter. So you can kindly rectify it for me. Thank you so much. Thank you for your message, Abdullah. If you have already accepted your offer and paid the 2,000 Canadian dollar tuition deposit, and then received that acceptance letter, this could be that they have sent you the updated confirmation letter showing you that your seat is secure. But what I would do is I would still reach out to the graduate admissions team to just confirm everything. I will just send you the email address wherein you can just email them and check with them what the status is. I will just do that 1 second. I will send you. I would always request everyone, if you are reaching out to the admissions team, put your full name, student ID, and the program name so that they can check your status and properly answer your questions. There is another question. Does one-on-one booking with a recruitment officer come with a fee? No, it does not. I will share the link. You can make an appointment with any of our recruitment advisors, and they'll be happy to help you. Just give me a moment, find that link for you. There's another question from Mohammed. Hello, I would like to inquire about the English language requirement. I have completed both my bachelor's and master's degree in English. Could you kindly advise when and how I should submit proof of this in order to obtain a conditional letter of acceptance? So Mohammed, at Lakehead University, if you have completed your bachelor's and master's in English, you may be eligible for English language requirement waiver, but it depends on your country and institution where your degrees were completed. So here's what you should do. You should reach out to our graduate admissions team and check with them in terms of what kind of requirements are there for you, specifically depending on your profile and background. Yeah, I will just share you the admission team's email address. What they will do is they will also determine whether English test like IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo is required for your profile or for your background. I will just share you the email address. There's another question from Bismarck. If you want to pay your school fees with Empower loan, do you still have to pay for the tuition deposit? You will still be accepted. If you plan to pay your tuition using Empower financing student loan, you may still be required to pay the tuition deposit to accept your offer at Lakehead University. So I would still suggest, if you are using Empower Loan, contact Student Central or contact the graduate admissions team to confirm whether your loan approval letter can be accepted or not. Another question from Poonam. I have applied for my Masters of Computer Science. Do I need PAL? No, you do not need PAL. For masters, for graduate, any kind of graduate program, be it master's or PhD, you do not need a PAL. There is another question. I applied for MBA graduate program, but I don't have a 3.0. Though I have 15 years plus work experience with a career progression, can this get me an admission without considering only my academic performance? You are encouraged to apply or contact the graduate admissions team with your CVs and transcripts so that the program team can assess your eligibility individually. And while GPA is important, Your significant professional experience can also strengthen your application, but the admissions team may still review your file holistically. So you need to check with them. I think that was it for all the questions. Even if we haven't answered any one of your questions, you can still email us at welcome@lakeheadu.ca. I'll just put that in the chat again, and our team will be able to help you even after today's session. So I have put that right now. There is a question. I am an applicant with the PharmD certificate. What pharmaceutical programs or pharmacy-related programs, PhD and masters are available? So what I could suggest is the closest that we have an option at Lakehead is PhD in health sciences, which offers the main doctoral route related to pharmacy there. So you can check on that. Let me just give you the link so you can read more about it in our programs page. All right, Abigail has a question. Please, after paying my confirmation deposit, what is the next step? Also, my application is showing 85.71% on the portal. What could be the issue? So thank you for your question, Abigail. After paying your confirmation deposit, the next steps are usually to accept your offer in the My Info portal. If you have not done that already, then upload any kind of remaining required documents listed in your offer conditions. You may also wait for your acceptance letter or the updated offer letter, offer status after the deposit is processed. And you can use your acceptance documents to apply for your study permit. So watch out for your email updates for any kind of further instructions. And regarding your application showing 85.71% on the portal, this just may mean that you may have some required checklist item, which is still either incomplete or under review, such as your final transcripts, your proof of English language requirement, passport copy, any kind of official document verification. So if you want, please check your application checklist in the portal. And if everything appears, if you think that everything is submitted and there's nothing else pending, you can just contact Student Central and they'll help you. I'll just send you the Student Central's email address. I will answer a final question before wrapping up today's session. Hi, apologies if this was already answered, but I'd like to know how much application fees cost and if you award an application fee waiver. I'm not sure if you're asking for undergraduate or graduate, but for graduate, we have an application fee waiver, which is what I was going to get to now. So anyone who's planning to apply for the fall 2026 intake, there is a grad application fee waiver that is being provided for everyone. You can use this code while submitting your application. So if you apply before April 30th, 2026, you do not have to pay the $125 grad application fee. You can use this code during your application process. So I would just suggest you can either screenshot this page or write the code somewhere safe. This is only for graduate programs, though. I hope this answers your question. All right. So with that, I will just wrap up today's session. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. And if you would like to learn more about such upcoming events, you can just scan this QR code. That's where you'll find all of our all of the webinars that we have done in the past and also upcoming ones. And you can follow us on social media. We are there on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Lakehead International. With that, thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you one day on campus as a Lakehead student.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can connect with us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We hope to see you in our next live webinar. Bye for now.